Now, one thing is certain is that over the years, multiple things that Disney has done to the Star Wars fandom has only divided the fandom further. A lot of this had to do with The Last Jedi, how they treated Luke in that movie, how the sequel trilogy came to a close, as well as the whole Gina Carano situation that happened back in February to March of 2021. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that we have a lot of things happening at the same exact time between John, George, and Dave, not only are they working on Ahsoka Season 1, and yes, even a Season 2 for that show, but also Mando Season 4, and other shows that will be announced, by the way, at not just Celebration, but also at D23. D23 this year, by the way, is going to be the big one, where it'll have the most announcements at that. Now that brings us to Gina Carano and the character Cara Dune. Now, as you all know, Season 2 was her last appearance. We have not seen her since, and a lot of fans have really been calling for her return, and this is something that the Disney executives have been bouncing around for the past year and a half now on finding the right way to bring her back. Now, we know that for the longest time, we've been talking about this, that Disney executives have a full-fledged plan to bring her back from Mando Season 4 for a very big scene in that actual season, which, by the way, is not coming out until holiday season of 24, if not that, early 2025. But that brings us to Disney's newest plan to bring back Gina Carano front and center as Cara Dune in the upcoming Season 4 of The Mandalorian, but beyond that, the newest plan overall that's going to actually outperform that plan in and of itself. So, with Favreau and Filoni creating big plans for the future of Star Wars, Disney is currently crafting their plan to rehire Gina Carano and to get her back for The Mandalorian Season 4. However, it's noted that Disney executives' new plan to rehire Gina Carano are being altered and changed to better suit the roadmap of Star Wars, and that they are now putting together a plan to revive Rangers of the New Republic that was initially cancelled by Favreau and Filoni after the story became complicated without Gina. Now, it's described that this was Disney's most recent conversation on the best way to bring back Gina Carano in a big way by reinstating the show that was initially left on the back burner and cancelled altogether, and that they are now in the early planning stages of restarting production on Rangers. More than 70% of the Disney board believes that this would be the best way to go about doing this, instead of just introducing her as a cameo or in a big scene from Mando Season 4, and that by restarting her own show, that was supposed to be a big deal involving Luke, Han, and Leia, as well, should really be put back on the roadmap. So I want to pause here quickly about what Disney is doing before I get to the next big piece. So basically, they're really in a standstill right now. They're not quite sure which route to take. If they take the Mando Season 4 route, that's the fastest way to go to bring Gina back and to bring Cara Dune back as, you know, bringing her back in a very big scene or a glorified cameo by John and Dave that they've been working on for the past year plus, or they could actually do this plan that they're currently talking about right now, and it may take longer to do it this way, but they feel that this would be more powerful, she would have a whole lot more screen time, and it would be her own show about reinstating Rangers of the New Republic that was going to not include just herself, but also cameos of Luke, Han, and Leia popping in and out of the show multiple times, and really serving as a direct sequel to Return of the Jedi, basically. So you guys may know that Rangers of the New Republic, it really went sour after Gina got fired, and John and Dave had a very big struggle on how they could really make that show work, and basically Gina's absence from Lucasfilm was the main factor in this show ultimately meeting its demise. So it wasn't just about Gina, though. It was also about some of the story decisions, some of the overall roadmap issues that it was running into, but I digress. The thing about this that I think serves as the greatest example about what Disney is ultimately trying to achieve right now is that they are trying to bring back a character like Cara Dune, played by somebody like Gina Carano, in the biggest and best way possible for starters. They want to make sure that it's going to have a big impact for starters, not to make it like a baby step process. They want to bring her back in the best way possible. And yeah, I mean, I do agree with the Disney execs that this would be probably the better scenario. The only downside to this is that it would take longer to achieve this goal, because let's face it, there's no script to the show yet. There's no, plans for it just yet. And yeah, sure, they could use the original scripts if they wanted to, but so much has changed with the roadmap since then, ever since they excluded Rangers, so they're going to have to figure out exactly where that would fit into the timeline. So, who knows, maybe they could just reinstate the overall, original scripts in there. They could easily do that if they wanted to. The problem is that since the show was cancelled, John and Dave already salvaged a lot of scenes from that script, and are using them in other shows right now. So, basically, they took aspects from Rangers once it was cancelled and threw it into Mando 4, Ahsoka Season 2, stuff like that. So anyways, they would have to restart the script, do all that over, and it would take a lot of time. Now, on top of this, if and once Disney finalizes this plan, it may delay the process of Gina coming back, but it would certainly be the best way to do so on Disney's end, to make it all the more impactful to the audience. Further, it's described that Bob Iger is 100% in agreement with this plan of theirs to bring back Gina, even if it delays the process and takes more time, and something that will be finalized by this June. If not, they are set to stick to her return plan for Mando Season 4 for holiday 2025, or, of course, holiday, 2024, or the beginning of 2025, in the first quarter. So basically, that's how Mando Season 4 would work. It's either going to be released in holiday season of next year, if not, the very beginning of 2025. I just wanted to kind of correct my thing on that. So, regardless, Mando 4 has a ways to go, alright? Either end, it's going to take a while, but Rangers would be a longer route. Now, it's all about what would be best for the fans, right? Would you rather have Gina back in a full-fledged show of her own, or would you rather have her as a glorified cameo, for starters at least, in Mando Season 4? I say why not do both? That's my overall view on things. Why not do both? But through the Disney executives' minds, they want to do this for starters in the best way possible. So that's a thing that they're also thinking about. How they can really do this in the best way possible for starters, to give it a bigger impact and to create a large momentum. So, like I said, guys, I mean, so much has been on the back burner for Star Wars, time and time again. The Lando series is still really kind of stagnant. We haven't really heard all that much about the Lando show. In fact, we haven't really heard all that much about a script even. I mean, there's been some ideas floating around there here and there, but nothing really substantial. Lando as a series may very well be meeting its demise also, because Glover, as far as we know, is really very busy and tied up with other projects. So, anyways, fill me in below in the comments, guys, what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.